Welcome back to another edition of the Hiking Journal. In the last episode, Chris and I took a drive out toward the Salton Sea in Imperial Valley, and we explored the abandoned Navy base. And even though we had super high winds, the audio was kind of a little choppy and distorted, but we got through it. The second half of our adventure out to the Salton Sea is we drove around the bottom, the southern end, and we headed up to a place I've been wanting to see for a long time. It's in a little town called Nyland, just outside. And there's a spot called Salvation Mountain. There's a bunch of eccentric people, drug addicts, child molesters, people on the run from the law. Who really knows who lives out there? Homeless people, mentally deranged individuals, who knows? But artists, there could be just normal people that are just eclectic artists, who knows? But anyway, I wanted to drive out there to see Salvation Mountain. And then just past Salvation Mountain, just a quarter mile down the road, is the beginning of Slab City. And Slab City is basically an unincorporated area. I think it's actually technically on BLM land that nobody really patrols. Nobody really keeps an eye on it. And over the last 20 years or so, people have just kind of flocked to that area to escape from reality, I guess, and to set up their little huts, their abandoned RVs, their shanties, their shacks. They're homeless encampments, and they've been living out there with no power, no water, no sewer, and no lighting, and evidently no law enforcement. So people just kind of do what they want out there, and it's grown to become this small, eclectic, weird city in the middle of the desert. So we wanted to go see that. I did, at least, really bad. So we took a drive out there. We explored some interesting things, saw a lot of things that we'll probably never be able to get out of our mind now. We walked around some artists' retreats, if that's what they want to call it, and we talked to a few people when we were out there, and all of that was on our trip out to the Salton Sea. So anyway, that's what's going to be coming up in this next edition, our trip out to Salvation Mountain, Slab City, and of course my favorite, East Jesus. And that'll all be coming up next in this edition of the Hiking Journal. Stick around. All right, well, we made it around the horn of the Salton Sea, and we were heading towards Salvation Mountain. This area is pretty well known for some eclectic and eccentric people. Slab City.
Oh, that's where Slab City is.
Slab City, yeah. So we're going to head to Salvation Mountain. Oh, here's the art store right there. People live in the buses. A lot of hippies out here, a lot of freaks and geeks out here. I was told that this is a lawless community. There's no law out here. And look at this guy right going down the street here. That says grand opening coming soon.
There's no water, there's no power.
Nope, there's nothing. And I saw
an igloo.
Yeah, I saw a video that they said if you see burned out places, it's because there were child molesters that were living in those homes, and they found out and they burned them to the ground. So, this is Salvation Mountain over here. We're going to get out and we're going to walk over there.
I like the American flag theme.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Here's a burned out one.
Yeah, there's several of them. Oh, there's the Slab City Library. I saw that. There's also East Jesus is only 1 mile. So you can have porta potties. How nice of them and how thoughtful. Here we go, Salvation Mountain. God never fails.
At this point.
Okay, well, we'll have to park over here. Then we'll have to walk over there. I think this is a good location to lock the car. What do you think?
Yeah. And come back and it's painted.
Okay. All right, well, we made it to Salvation Mountain out here in Imperial County. Wind's still pretty brisk. It's probably 20 miles an hour right here, but Salvation Mountain is over this direction over here. We're going to take a walk out there, get a picture of the famous mountain. All right, well, we're taking a walk out here to Salvation Mountain. I think take some pictures. I've seen this in a lot of different places, and it's an iconic stop if you're ever out here in the Imperial Valley. Pretty amazing. Let's check this out. We're gonna get some photos. There's a volunteer over here taking donations. I can see that. Well, there's even a little plaque over here for Salvation Mountain. Dedicated April 23rd, 2016. Let's go get some pictures. Well, if you've never been out to Salvation Mountain out here in Imperial Valley, it's quite the sight to behold. Gil Hauser did an episode out here, and I can see the attraction. I wonder how many gallons of paint were used to erect this. It says the yellow brick road. Love is universal. I just talked to the friendly guy that said we were more than welcome to take the staircase to the top of Salvation Mountain. It's pretty interesting. Yellow Brick Road, as it's called. Please stay on the yellow pathway. As I started to climb up Salvation Mountain on the Golden Road, the wind really picked up and was wreaking havoc on the microphone. So, but what I will tell you is when I talked to the volunteer, I was really surprised that he said that they get upward of 1,000 people will visit Salvation Mountain and Slab City on a busy weekend. And he said even tour buses will come here. And even Chris thought, you know, how strange that people from all over the world would come here. And of all the places to see in California, this would be one of the locations. He said, they've even had tour buses pull up in the parking lot. And I got to admit, those two outhouses that we walked by on the way in, they were the cleanest outhouses I've ever seen in my life. So I got to give it to them that they do take care of Salvation Mountain. And it was a nice, enjoyable place to visit. So if you're ever out this way, make a stop and check out Salvation Mountain. Very windy up here, as you can imagine. Oh, one more thing about Salvation Mountain. On the way in there, we noticed there was quite a few adventure vans. We saw two Class A motorhomes. One was all decked out for adventure overlanding, and the other one was just your basic Class A motorhome. But we saw several of the Mercedes-Benz adventure vans and a couple of trucks that were equipped for overlanding. And it must be a destination a little more than I thought. I was surprised to see even some nice passenger cars, some older people that had just taken a drive out there, I guess, and just pulled over on the side of the road and were taking in the oddity. All right, now we are officially driving into Slab City. 1 mile is what they call East Jesus. People come on. I'm full of dust. People come out here and live lawless life. They live in their old rundown buses and trailers. And they survive a meager existence out here.
No water, no electricity,
Yeah.
no sewer. They've got a bunch of solar panels.
Look at all that. Maybe we'll stop there on the way back. Look at all the shoes.
Trade circle.
Middle truck. Foundation of something over there. Okay, we're trying to figure out what this contraption is.
It's the guard tower.
Church of Enlightenment. Is that what it says?
Yes. Be here now.
Yeah, it's a bird sanctuary. They have gifts and souvenirs.
Slab City Care Club and nudist colony.
Hey, that's what we're looking for. Neighborhood address 4200. I like the sign. Slow the fuck down. Neighborhood watch. You loot, we shoot. Chateau Relaxo.
That address is 420, by the way.
Oh. Make a turn here. Look at this place. Trading post. All right, well, we made the stop in East Jesus. Safe space? What does that mean? It's like a robot. So people live out here year round. It's like over there looks like a top of an ejector part of an airplane. And another boat. Well, to some people this is junk. To other people it's artwork. Look at the old teeter-totter. That's pretty cool. The teeter-totter.
What?
The teeter-totter.
Nice. I was looking at the bugs.
Oh yeah. Oh, I guess you can walk in there and walk around. Look at this car. I like the sign, caution ground wire before using. Yeah. Well, we've been walking around East Jesus for a while now, looking at all this exciting artwork, and we ran across this plane. There's a boat. If you don't want to go by air, you can go by sea. And I just love the sound of this wind chime. Quite an exciting collection of things to look at here. Slab City, Imperial County. Weather is perfect out here today. This actually looks like it could have been part of an aircraft ejector window canopy. Don't know if that's true or not, but there's another remnant of a typewriter. We're all gonna head back to the car, get something to eat. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Hiking Journal, our trip to Salvation Mountain, Slab City in East Jesus. This was an iconic adventure for Chris and I, and it was an eye-opener for sure, seeing all that alternative lifestyle we're not accustomed to seeing. Well, at least not in my neck of the woods. If you're thinking about making that long drive out to the Salton Sea to visit the abandoned Navy base, Salvation Mountain, Slab City, or East Jesus, make sure you get a full tank of gas and somebody knows where you're heading, because we didn't see one gas station along the way and no signs of law enforcement. Well, except for the Border Patrol checkpoint off Highway 11 that at the time we were driving by wasn't even manned. It's definitely worth the trip, and I mean a trip, to see this iconic community, and I'm sure you'll enjoy your day, or maybe you'll just get a little creeped out. On the way home, the winds were gusting through the Ocotillo off-road vehicle area, and it was incredible seeing the drifting sands blow across the highway that limited our visibility to less than 100 feet or so. And believe it or not, we actually got a sprinkle or two of rain along the way, just enough to make a mess on my windshield. All right, well, we're still driving through the storm as we're heading down Highway 78 toward Julian. We're about 45 miles from Julian, going through Ocotillo Wells, the Santa Ana wind event. It looks like it's going to be a combination of extreme high winds. Local forecasters predict 40, 50 mile an hour winds with potential gusts to 70 to all the way to 100. There were quite a few sections where sand was blowing across the road, and it's blowing the Jeep around, as you can imagine. So we're going to try to negotiate this section of Highway 78, work our way up the Banner Grade to Julian. And who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and get some rain. Wouldn't that be weird? Rain and high winds.
They're not going to be able to hear you.
Huh?
They're not going to be able to hear you. I can barely hear you.
We took Highway 78 from Scissors Crossing up what we call the Banning Grade through that quaint mountain town of Julian. And of course, we stopped off at Dudley's for a loaf of bread and got a slice of apple pie at the Julian Pie Company in Santa Isabel. Well, thanks for watching, and be sure and hit that like and subscribe button to get the latest updates to the channel as I post it. In the next episode of the Journal, I take a long drive out to Coachella Valley and explore Ladder Canyon and Painted Canyon's magnificent slot canyons and beautiful rock formations on a solo 4.8 mile round trip loop hike. This one's got some incredible ladder ascents up through a slot canyon and made for an exciting adventure. That'll all be coming up in the next edition of the Hiking Journal, Ladder Canyon and Painted Canyon Loop. That'll all be coming up next. Take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.